Hey there viewers, it's Chaonix back again with another unboxing and first impressions. And today I shall be unboxing Cyberworld Grimlock. Now, this is actually a really big figure, like I can't even get the box into frame, so there we go. But I've been really excited for this figure. Like, initially I wasn't really too interested in the Cyberworld line, but after seeing one of my friends review it, that being Chaonix Productions, here's a video, go check it out, I was actually kind of interested. And yeah, a few of my friends have taken a look at this guy, such as MoonZote here. Again, check that video out, and maybe also subscribe to him. So yeah, check these videos out, they're pretty cool. But yeah, this and Scorponok are the two Cyberworld figures that I've been wanting, and I am definitely also going to get Scorponok. But yeah, let's look at Grimlock here. And well, Grimlock here is actually one of my favorite characters in the Cyberworld show so far. I mean, he's got a Russian accent in the show. That's awesome. Plus, as you can see, he's got a Gatling gun. So, he's Russian. He's got a Gatling gun. This is Heavy Weapons guy from TF2. It's Grimlock's Heavy Weapons guy. That's awesome. So I think this is one of my favorite versions of Grimlock so far, and I think one of my favorite characters in the Cyberworld show, along with Skybite. Anyway, just looking at the box, of course, we got the straight out in the open style box. So yeah, but we can see a picture of Grimlock right there. You can see, I guess, what biome he's from, or what part of Cyberworld he's from, that being the jungle bit. So you can see Chomp in battle. Changes to Dino. 4 steps. Here you can see him in Dino mode right here. Again, Cyberworld. Ultimate symbol, Chomp in battle. So this is pretty much its own price point. This is like 30 quid. So, roughly like Voyager price. And of course the back, well, we got all the gimmicks here. So we've got the Gatling gun. Got the mouth opening up. You can actually transform into a mech suit for the smaller guys, which is pretty cool. Prime can ride him at Age of Extinction. Or I guess any of the smaller Cyber Changes can ride him. Plus, we got this little battle chariot, I guess. Because why not? And we have a cross-sell for some of the other figures. Galvatron, which I have looked at. Bumblebee, which I am waiting for. Snarl, which I am also waiting for. And Skybite, who I do want to get. So, yeah. So, enough beating around the bush. Let's get this guy open. And of course, we've got a lot of the little twisty type things here, so this might take quite a while. So let's start off with the Gatling gun here. So just trying to cut this open. There we go. So here we have the Gatling gun, which he does use in the show to attack Prime in the first episode. Like, he uses this to attack Prime in the first episode, and I'm pretty sure he also uses this in the 3rd episode, along with Snarl. So, yeah, that's the Gatling gun out. Apologies for that jump cut. My Lego stand just once again gave way. Should probably redesign that, because I have used it for God knows how long. But anyway, so that's one leg cut. Now let's move on to this one. There we go, so that's both legs. So let's move on to the actual standard forearm here. There we go. Now let's try and do the dino head arm here. Well, actually cutting into him. Oh, there we go. there's like a rubber band on him, so just trying to get that off. There we go. Try and cut. There we go. There's like one around the waist. And I think that's it. So, here we have Grimlock here. Again, quite a tall figure, so I'm probably going to have to try and raise this up without breaking my Lego stand again. So, there we go. Now, this has to be kind of a worry for when I get Scorpion. I can do his unboxing video, but anyway, here we have Grimlock. So we'll just attach the Gatling gun onto him to complete the look. So, here we go. Here we have Cyberworld Grimlock. And just before we continue, just like with Galvatron, I'm pretty sure the instructions are somewhere in here. So, well, that's the band. So if I just cut into here. Again, just try and open all this up. I'm pretty sure the instructions are in here. I'll just check off camera. Okay, and yeah, I can feel them. So there's the instructions. And I think we should, yeah, there's the useless paper that nobody ever reads. So I can close this back up. There we go. So just closing the box back up. There we are. So that's the box closed back up. But yeah, I've got the useless white paper that no one ever reads. And of course we've got the instructions, which, I mean, obviously for a big boy like me, I'm pretty sure I can figure this out, but of course for the target demographic, that being kids, it's nice to have actual physical instructions, because, you know, the box is definitely just going to be thrown out. So to have actual instructions to remind them how to transform the figure, this is nice. So it tells you about, like, the mech suit, deed of extinction mode, and weird battle rider thing. So yeah. But actually talking about Grimlock here, well, one noticeable thing is he's got what I would call the Beast Wars Megatron silhouette. And by that I mean he's got a dino head for a hand, you know, like Beast Wars Megatron. So essentially the tail is the other hand. Although in this case we've got this huge kick-ass Gatling gun, so you can fuck up the Decepticons, I guess. And we've got this really cool gimmick where if you press this button, ah. So if you do it too much, it can fall off. But that's still a fun gimmick. I could see myself doing that for ages. So yeah, that is fun, although my one seems to be a bit of a loose fit, unfortunately. I'm not sure if they're all like that, or if it's me getting unlucky with QC, but that is kind of crappy, but oh well. But yeah, we've got Grimlock here, and first-hand analysis, aside from this being kind of a loose fit, yeah, I really like this. Like, yeah, the legs are a bit hollow, but it's a kid's toy. What do you expect? So yeah, you can see that the head's got the usual like the head's got red visor, kind of like the Marvel Comics, which is pretty cool. Got another gimmick here where the mouth can open, which is pretty funny. So yeah, and of course the articulation is nothing special. Like there's no elbow here. Like there's no elbows. So yeah, although he can kind of tilt his head. So yeah. So let's move on to some of the other modes. So let's start off with that mech suit mode. So just trying to figure out how that works. So just reading that. Okay, so what we do here, we move down his chest, and it turns out these little bits here are going to move up. So now he's got a little straddler, I guess. He's got a little seat. We actually take the skull off here. So this is actually going to come off, I don't know. There we go. So this is a separate piece that comes off. And next up, we actually attach that onto here. Although I have seen people cover up the head first, so that's what I'm going to do. So we've got these little ports here that go into here. There we go. So we've got a bit of a mech suit here. There we go, kind of an Ed 209 thing going on here. Again, with a Gatling gun. And essentially, we can just flip this up as maybe a control stick or a place for a gun to flip, to put on. Now, the only Cyberworld figure I've got right now is Galvatron. And honestly, let's see if he will fit on. So we just get his legs forward here, get his arms out. He might not fit because he's got these weird wings. This is probably more suited for like Optimus. But hey, you never know. And no, Galvatron actually does fit. So Galvatron can actually pilot this, which that looks freaking amazing. I almost want to use the uncensored version, but you know what, screw it. This looks fucking amazing. And we can put his little flamethrower like weapon on, or we can put the little tail thing on if you want. Or an actual like weapon from like Siege or whatever. Do whatever. Like, come on. This looks amazing. So if you want this going on, then there you go. I don't know how this is going to play into the show, because Grimlock hasn't assumed this mode yet. Maybe it's something that he's going to do with Snarl. I don't know. Maybe Grimlock dies and is piloted by a Decepticon. I don't know. I'm just going to... Like, my assumption is this is something that Grimlock's going to do with Snarl. But come on. This is like, really cool. I love that. But yeah, that's the main thing that you can do in robot mode, is this weird Ed 209 thing, and I can't get Galvatron out now. There we go. So yeah, that's pretty much the main thing with this guy. He can interact with the smaller cyber changes. So, I mean, come on. Grimlock as a mech suit. I love that so much. But actually getting him back into standard robot modes. So we have to put this back on. Here we go. Oh, and we've got a head reveal there. So this guy's got a bit of... This guy's got some automorph there with the head reveal. And if I remember from reviews... Yes! So when you transform the head, the waist spins. Let's see if I can show that. So if I transform the head again... So that's like that for Dino mode, but when I transform the heads... There we go. That's actually really cool. I like that. So the Cyberworld figures seem to have some automorph in them, which I think is really cool, and I think the kids will like that. But anyway, let's move on to the actual Dinosaur mode, which shouldn't be too hard. Because, you know, this is meant to be for young kids after all. So pretty much what we do is we get them T-posing. Something I'm always a fan of. Get the dino hands down here. Get the head down. Do the waist. And we just transform the legs. I think this goes... Yeah, So here we have Dinosaur mode. And yeah, this is pretty much just Beast Wars Megatron with how it transforms. Like, it doesn't really do the standard Grimlock transformation, you know? Like, the chest forms that weird golden nappy. Instead, it's just the side of the Dinosaur mode here. The Gatling gun's now this tail. And the hand's now his... the hand's now the Dino mode face, which is pretty cool. And I got another gimmick here with the Chomping, which is... I think that's cool. So if you want... I don't think that was intended, but that's really funny. So yeah. And for gimmicks here, well, we can still do like a spinny thing here. So I guess if he wants to like fire out his ass, then there you go. But what we can do is just, come on. This is kind of tight actually. There we go. So we pull that up and move that down, and that forms a little like peg thing. So I'm assuming I can peg into someone's back, and yep, Galvatron's got a port right there. So if we plug that into Galvatron's back, Galvatron could ride him. I don't know why he would. That's obviously meant to be more for Prime or Snarl. But hey, you can do that. So that's pretty cool. And plus, seeing how it's actually like pegged in, you can be all rough with him, and Galvatron is not going to fall off, or whoever you have on there, which is, again, really cool. So yeah, I love that. So like maybe like these two have like teamed up or something, because in the show, Grimlock is an Autobot, but he's definitely antagonizing Prime a lot. So he's more of like an anti-hero, I guess. I say that because he's not really a villain. He's more just trying to survive in Cyberworld, but he's not above trying to kill Optimus, essentially. I'm assuming as the show progresses, he'll mellow out and team up with Prime, but who knows for now. But yeah, so we can have this riding gimmick Or if I take Galvatron off. Come on. The final gimmick that we've got, essentially what we have to do, take the Gatling gun off again, and I'm pretty sure the instructions say to do this. Am I wrong? No, the instructions actually do say to, it's just a really tight fit. There we go. So what you have to do is fucking decapitate him. I am not joking. You actually have to rip his head off. Yep, that's actually in the instructions. But yeah, you also have to rip his top jaw off. This is getting kind of gruesome now. Come on, there we go. And pretty much relocate it. See, initially it was like this. You have to move it to this peg here. It's my understanding here. There we go. So now we got this. And as it turns out, the entire tail can also come off. But that's also really tight. What's with these being really tight? Come on. There we go. So as it turns out, not only does the Gatling gun come off, the entire tail comes off. So essentially, you amputate Grimlock. Dude, imagine that in this show where his arms just come off and form this. Like, little Billy would just be so amazed, or even that he'd be traumatized, because I don't know, but this is meant to go on somehow. It's not. So yeah, the instructions are pretty much saying this peg goes into this back bit here. Although this seems to not be going on for me. There we go. So here we have the battle chariots from the start of the video. So once again, we can just, well, we can try and set Galvatron on, although these pegs are just refusing to stay on for me. But, like, the idea is pretty much trying to have the figure sit here. There we go, pretty much like this. It's kind of sitting awkwardly, but essentially it's like some weird, like, chair that they sit on, with a Gatling gun. It can still shoot. And I don't know, I guess Grimlock is just left to rot or something. I don't know. That or Grimlock is lending his limbs to someone so they can fight. I don't know. I'm assuming these will come later when there's like a big threat going on. Because, I don't know. Maybe Unicron will show up at some point. Like, I don't know. But toy-wise, this is pretty cool. So he's going to be a mech suit, a standard dinosaur toy for smaller figures to ride on, and a chair with a Gatling gun. Like, dude. If I had this back when I was like 8 years old, I would have loved this. But, well, reassembling all this, So we got the standard, like, we got the tail and head back on. Getting these reattached. So again, looking at the dinosaur mode, this looks really cool. And let's just get them transformed again. Because keep in mind, we got that really cool awesome morph there with the waist. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say. Honestly, I love this thing. Like, the amount of things it can do would keep a kid entertained for hours. Like, seriously. Plus, if you get a whole bunch of these little Cyber Changer guys... Hang on. There we go. If you get a bunch of these Cyber Changer little guys, it's pretty much like Action Masters, where you have a small guy and some big, like, vehicle guys for them to ride on, except these can all transform. I mean, come on, it's like... Cyberworld is looking to be a really fun toy line, and I am all for it. I am definitely getting Scorponok. And I hope we get more of this, like, price point, you know, the £30 price point, where it's like, yeah, it's a big figure, still simple to transform, but it does a lot of things. So I hope we get more of this. I hope that rumored deep sea sound wave is like this. So, yeah. I absolutely recommend this. This is really fun. So, yeah. This has been my first impressions on Cyberworld Grimlock. And this is Charlie Young, signing off.